everyone, Mr. Merkage here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to create a simple little Skype bot using JavaScript or Java, and we're going to be using the Skype4J API. So we've got it on GitHub here. You can see this is the project. You can go through all the files if you really want to. It's got some nice documentation. It even tells us how to get the basics set up, which is nice. If you scroll down a little bit, this is where the documentation is. If we go over to that page, it's probably useful to have up because it's got everything within the API here, which is very useful. So that's that. I just wanted to show you that, and now we'll get started. So what I've done is, and actually before I start, we're going to be working in Eclipse, so you will need to go and download it if you don't have it. I will leave a link in the description for it. And once you've downloaded it, just open it up. All I've done is right clicked, made a new project, and then in the source folder I right clicked and created a new package, and then in the package I created a new class called bot info. And the reason I've done this is because that contains my username and password for my bot account, and this API does use your username and password. So if that sort of turns you off a little bit, don't let it worry you, because the information doesn't get sent anywhere. You can go check the source if you like to see how everything does. So it's safe, I can assure you. I just put it in this file just because I didn't want to show it on camera, obviously, but you don't need to do it like this. So once you've done that and create the new project, you'll right click the package and create a new class, and we'll call it logic. And then inside here, what we want to do is create the main method, and we'll just say public static void main, say string args. And inside here, let me just correct that, we just want to call new logic, like so. And now outside of here we'll say public logic, go down the line. So inside here it pretty much tells us what we need to do. So we need to create a new Skype builder. You can see it's got the username and password there, and it tells us we do the login process, and then we're creating a new listener, and this is actually using the one we want to use for the bot, which is on the message received. So pretty much everything we needed is there already, which is good. So we'll open up Eclipse again, and what we need to do before we go any further is actually right click on the project folder and click on properties, and then from this page here you'll probably be up here, but you'll go to the Java build path and select add external jars, and you want to select Skype4J.jar. Now I'll leave a download for this in the description as well, and you want to press open, hit apply, and press OK. So now what we can do is say Skype, we'll declare a new Skype, and that's going to be equal to a new Skype builder, just like this tells us to. And you see we've got the username and password, but we'll probably have to import a few things. Wonder if this will let us know about it. This program seems to be going not responding, so we'll import Skype. We'll import the Skype builder, and then this wants a username and password. Now, because I've got the bot info file, I'm going to use that, but you can just use a string and say username, and then you'll do password, and you'll say .with, let that load. Just want to say .with all resources .build. So you'll have your username and password here, but what I want to do is remove it and click bot info .username, and then for the password I want to do the same, bot info .password. And that's the same as the string, it's just within another file, so I don't have to show it on screen, so don't worry about doing that bit. So once you've done that, you just want to come down a line and say Skype.login, which is probably the main process, and we'll get an error here, and we just got to surround it in a try catch like it tells us to. I don't like the look of all that. I kind of think it's ugly, but it has to be there. So we'll go down, and what we need to do next is like it tells us to, we need to register a new listener. So we'll say Skype.get event dispatcher register listener, and we'll say, or we'll call it new, let's say user chat, like so. So that's going to register our new event. We'll get an error here because we haven't created the class for that yet, but we'll do that in a second. And then after we've done that, we'll say Skype.subscribe, and there's also another option. We should get an error for this one as well. If not, we'll say Skype, and what we can do is set visibility, and that what that does is it's the equivalent to online status in Skype4.com for those of you who are wondering. We'll say visibility dot online. We'll put us to, and then that'll be us online, ready to do whatever. So what we can do is say system dot out dot print line, and we'll just say Skype logged in, just to let the user know, or you know, that you're logged in fine down here. And we could print the errors if you wanted to. You could print the exceptions in the log as well, but we'll leave that for now. I'll leave that down to you. So we'll go ahead and create this new class. We'll do that, and we'll call it user chat. Hit finish. So what we're going to do is go inside user chat, and if we look at this, what this does is uses the event handler, but I think this is doing it within the same logic file, but we're doing another class. So what we're going to do here is what we need to do is say implements listener, like so. We might have to import that. Yeah, we do. And then at the top here we can say at event handler, and I think we've got to import this also. Oh no, maybe we just have to type out our function. We'll say public void on chat, and we're going to use the message received event. We'll just say E, and we might have to import that. There we have it. Sometimes it imports it for you, sometimes it doesn't. There we go. Now we can import that one, and now we should be good to go. So now we can use E dot, and you can see we got a whole list of things. So we can get the message, which is what we're going to do. So the first thing we actually want to do is create a new string, which we'll call message, and that's going to be equal to E dot get message dot get content. We'll say .to string, even though it is, and we'll say .to lowercase, just because we'll write our code in lowercase, and in case they write in uppercase and so on, just to be safe. And then what we can do below here is now check this message for a few things. So first of all, now this is where it's sort of similar to the other bots I've shown you in the past. We can just say if message dot starts with, and now in my bot info file I made a trigger beforehand, but you can do in a speech marks like this, you can just have your trigger there. But what I'm going to use is bot info dot trigger, which is just a exclamation mark. So if my message starts with a trigger, I know someone activated a command. So now what I want to do is check if the message dot contains a space. And the reason for that is, if you watch my other bot video not too long ago, that's how I determine if it's a command with a parameter or not. So if it's got a space, then it's a double command, else it's not. So we'll start with this one. First thing, if it's a single command, all we want to do is take the trigger off the end of it, or off the start of it actually, and then so we can read the next part. So how we can do that is just say string, we'll call it command, it will be equal to our message dot split, and we want to split at our trigger, like so. And then I want to take the right side of the split, which will be number 1, and that will leave us with our message, and there's no spaces. That will be our command. And now we just want to do the same for if there is a space. So sort of similar, we'll say string, we'll call it command again, and it'll be equal to message dot split. And then what we'll do is we can split at the bot info dot trigger again, and we'll take the right side, but now the right side is going to contain a space. So we'll split here again at the space, and we'll take the left side of it, which will leave us with the first word, which will be our command. So hopefully you understood that. I'll probably explain it again in a second, and we'll just say string arg, this will be the argument, and that will be equal to message dot split at the space. And then actually what we could do, actually no, it'll be fine like this. We'll split at this place and just take the first or the right side of it. So now we're left with the command and the argument. So what we can do now is read the command and see what they want to do. So one thing we can do is just say if command dot equals, and let's say the main one will be help. Then if it's equal to help, we'll send them a message. So the way we send messages on here is because this API is a little bit different. We have to send or get the chat. We don't have to give it like the handle of the user. So what we can do is say e.getChat.sendMessage, and that is how we'd send a message to the user who sent this one to us. But you'll see, it's once we've done that and finished the line off, we have to surround it in a try catch, which you don't really want to be writing this sort of each time. So what we're going to do is we'll create a class which will handle sending the message and stuff, so it's a much more neater. I just wonder what this error is. What we have, yeah, we just got to surround these in try catches as well, and it should all be good. So we'll create a new class here, and then we'll just call it, well, I'll go ahead and call it message, like that. And in here we'll say or we'll create something called public, and it needs to be static void, and we'll just call it send message. And obviously we need the chat as a chat, and we need the string message, and then we'll need to import chat. And then what we can say is chat.sendMessage, and then we need to give it the message, which will be message, like so. And then we'll need to surround that in a try catch. So you can see we're only doing it once, and we'll keep it outside of the file. So now in here we can just say message.sendMessage, and now for the chat we can say e.getChat, and then the message, in our case, because they typed help, we'd want to send them a list of commands back, but we'll just, because we don't have the list of commands for now, we'll just start with a basic one, which will be help, or we'll say commands help shows commands, or something like that. So that would be the basic for that one. And now what the argument is, or what we could say is else message dot send message e.getChat, and what we'll say is invalid command, just if they entered something that we don't want to process. So same for this, really. If command dot equals, and the ones with the argument is just like the other bots, really. It's where, let's say we do resolve, and then we need to give it the username that we want to resolve. So it's like that. But in this video I won't be going over all of the stuff of connecting to APIs and stuff. That'll be next time. So let's say if it's equal to resolve, then what we want to do is do that. If not, we'll just copy this line again, save us a bit of time. Invalid command, and then we'll say message dot send message e.getChat, and then just to see if it's working correctly, you are resolving, and we'll say plus arg. So whatever we enter, it should just reply to us, you're resolving, whatever we typed in, just to prove that it's working to us. So now I think we're ready to run it. So what we're going to do is, this might run my old project, so I'll just select that like that, and I'll hit run. Now we know when it's worked because we entered a little message here saying Skype logged in. So when we see it here, we know that Skype's logged in and ready to use. So there it is. Now if I go to Skype, you can see my account's come online, and this is where I was testing it yesterday. And then, like we've typed, we can type exclamation mark help, press enter, and you can see it's commands, help, show commands. And then if I type something else, test, it should say invalid command. So it's pretty instant, and it's all round, it's a very good way of creating a bot now. And we'll do the double command, it's resolve test, and it should say you are resolving test. So there we have it, there's a double command as well. And we'll do just another random one, invalid command. So there's the bot working. That's all I'm going to show for today because the video is getting a bit lengthy, but depending on how, or the feedback I get on this video, I'll create part 2 where I go over connecting to APIs, getting the responses, and things like that. Just in general, I'll make a few parts showing you how to expand the bot and so on. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and a comment, and I'll see you next time.